Hey guys, and welcome to the Band Rants channel, your home for NFL projections, predictions, and of course, your periodic rant. And today we're going to be going over the 2021 Cleveland Browns schedule prediction. This is the second AFC team that I'm giving the schedule for. My goal is to get all of these schedules early on done by the end of May, and then I'll do one more final prediction at the end of the summer. But we're going to get into the Browns. We're going to talk a little bit about their moves in the offseason and how that'll help them or hinder them. But before we do, if you're new to the channel, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video, leave a comment down below on what you want to see me talk about next, and let's get started. So, as you probably saw in the last video, I gave the Browns a loss against the Chiefs because I don't see the Chiefs losing their home opener, and bad things do happen in Arrowhead. It's a very tricky place to play. But the next little stretch of games is actually pretty favorable for the Browns. Against the Texans at home, I know Deshaun Watson can make things really good in a shootout, and I would trust Watson over Baker Mayfield, but this is going to sound a little bit weird to say, but I actually trust Cleveland's defense more than Houston. Never thought I'd say that. And therefore, I'm going to give Cleveland the win at home. I also don't really see them losing their home opener. That's probably not going to happen. At home against the Bears, I don't even know their quarterback situation, so that being said, I think that Cleveland will be fine there. At Minnesota, this game honestly has an upset game, arguably, for the Vikings early on. I'm going to go ahead and give I'll give the Vikings the upset win, but that game could honestly go either way. At the Chargers, I think the Browns will take it. The Chargers aren't exactly a great home team, but I also think this will be a one-possession game. But at home against the Cardinals, this is going to be their first home loss. I think Arizona is arguably the most improved NFC team just based on this offseason, and I think the Cardinals are going to be a force to be reckoned with early on. At home against Denver, this is a no-brainer. I think the Browns are staying home on a 4-day stretch, even though usually Sunday to Thursday stretch is usually pretty tough for certain teams. I think being at home for the Browns and having the advantage of facing a murky quarterback situation in Denver we're not sure if it's going to be Drew Lock, if it's Teddy Bridgewater, we're not sure. And I think the Browns right now are just a more complete package than Denver is right now all around. At home against the Steelers. Now, they actually split the series with the Steelers last year, and they actually won a playoff game against the Steelers. Now, this is probably a lot of games. One of the games the Browns have a circle around twice. And I think for this one, the Steelers coming off the bye, I think could win it, but I'm going to give it to the Browns, and I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt at home. At the Bengals, I think they'll win. At New England, I do not think they'll win. Gillette Stadium is a very tricky place to play in, and much like the Cardinals in the NFC, I believe the Patriots are the most improved team in the AFC, and I think they're also going to keep it interesting down the stretch. At home against Detroit, that's a no-brainer. Detroit is probably the easiest game, if not the easiest home game, on their entire schedule. And yes, that includes over the Bengals. At Baltimore is going to be a loss. Baltimore always plays Cleveland hard, and it's not unreasonable to think they could win this game, but I think right now, I think Baltimore is going to have it pretty well defined and in the bag, at least at home. Now, here's where things get pretty cool. They're off the bye playing Baltimore again. Now, could they potentially win this game? I think they do. However, we did see the Ravens get the sweep last year, but we can't base that off of what's going to happen this year. I do think the Browns are going to do a little bit better in their division than they did, last year. I think they were 4-2 last year, 3-3 last year, something like that. I think they'll improve a little bit in that. At home against the Raiders, however, I actually have them starting to hit a little bit of a skid, and it's going to start with the Raiders. I think that's going to be an upset loss for the Browns. I think the Raiders are going to keep it interesting down the stretch because they haven't really been, that awful in about 3 years. They were average last year. I think they're going to improve a sliver this year, and the Browns will be sitting at 8-6, and then they hit a little bit of a skid down the road. I'm actually going to make an adjustment here and give the Steelers the win off the bye and give the Browns a win in Week 17 and a loss to Green Bay in Week 16. Mainly because I think the Browns down the stretch are going to be hungrier than the Steelers, and they're going to be looking to snap a 2-game losing skid. And against the Bengals at home, this is the best way to wrap up the season for Cleveland, in my opinion, because you either go positive or you go negative, and the Bengals by this point are probably just going to be trying to play spoiler. I would not underestimate them in this position, but Cleveland has been usually playing pretty good against the Bengals, and I don't believe Baker Mayfield has ever lost to the Bengals. I don't think it's going to start this year. And the Browns will be sitting at a 9-8 record. Now, if that's enough to make the postseason, I'm not sure yet because we haven't gotten down to the other AFC teams, but that's all I've got, and I'll see you in the next one.